podcast. My name's Jacob.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Ethan. And today we have some very special guests with us. 2 voice actors currently working, and the 2 protagonists of the movie that we watched this time around. We have Luci Christian.
Hello.
And John Swasey.
Hello.
And today we're talking about The Boy and the Beast. So I think the best way to start off is if you guys want to just kind of introduce yourselves and your role in the film, that would be great.
You bet. I'm going to go first real quick. My name's John. That's Eric, my plumber. Just bring my pipe here, or clog my pipe, or unclog my pipe, I should say. And we have down here in Bayou City, Houston is built on a swamp, so it's not uncommon for your pipes to get all clogged up with swampy goodness.
That's always good to hear.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun. I should have been a gentleman and let Lucy go first, but I wanted to get him paid real quick. So
There you go.
All right.
Anyway, my name is John Swasey, and I play Kumatetsu in The Boy and the Beast. I am the Beast.
Yes.
He is the Beast. And I'm Luci Christian, and I am the boy when he is a boy. I'm Kyuta in the show. And we are so happy to be here. We love this movie. Both John and I both are A, friends, B, huge fans of each other, C, huge fans of this movie. So we love talking about it.
This is hands down. When people go, what's my favorite role to ever voice? It's without a doubt this film right here.
Oh,
really?
Fantastic.
That's so fantastic.
That's awesome.
That's so fantastic. Because we all have questions amongst the 3 of us about your past roles, I know, but
Just a little
I
plug.
definitely love.
Roto-Rooter right here. Just help me out. Just plugging them right here on.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
bada bing.
Go to when you get.
Yes.
You need to
Get the plumbing.
unclog your drain. Roto-Rooter.
Whoa.
Rotor.
We'll get him that devil fruit commercial, the highly coveted.
You're going to get some Roto-Rooter money pretty soon, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Our first sponsor.
First Devil Fruit sponsor in the book. Roto-Rooter.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, like
Oh,
Jacob was saying, we realize now, kind of looking through your guys' bona fides, that you've been in almost every, both of you or one of you have been in almost every show we've watched so far on the podcast, which is pretty wild. So
Here's a little fun fact for you.
yeah.
If you go to Anime News Network
Uh-huh.
and look under most prolific cast,
Okay.
Monica Rial, and by that I mean most number of roles per actor.
Okay.
Okay.
Monica Rial is number 1.
Okay.
Luci Christian is number 2.
Hey.
I am number 3.
There you
Wow.
go.
Bada bing.
2 of
So that
3
means
is a really good. Really
We've been
good.
around.
Well,
Yeah.
Been around a
Lucy,
minute.
I'll let her elaborate on this too, because we both started out here in Houston as theater and film and commercial actors, and just sort of fell into this as a job. It was just another job to do.
Right.
And it just kind of worked out that we were both very, it just was something that really fell into our wheelhouse. And
Okay.
so when we started working at this company called ADV in Houston back in the late 90s, there weren't a whole lot of people able to do this. So Lucy and I, we'd get called in for all kinds of stuff. And then as they grew, we were part of their paddock of actors that it was...
You were on speed dial.
We were there,
You were on the...
We were there 2 or 3 times a week recording different shows. And then they'd have things where, you go into one studio and record something for one director for a couple hours and then come out and have a 30-minute break. But then you're in the next studio for another hour, have a 30-minute break. then go to another
Wow.
studio. I mean, it was like ping ponging in these studios, you know. And
That sounds so cool.
the beauty of it is the difference between now and then. And Lucy, I'm going to say this, and I'll let you elaborate. But when we started, we had the good fortune, I should say, of there just weren't a lot of people that could do this. So
Right.
we learned this handful of actors, and it's not just the two of us. There's Micah Rial and Chris Patton and Chris and Greg Ayers and, you know, a handful of others that are wonderfully talented, amazing talents. But we were the ones that they always called on. Now, today, there are hundreds of actors, thousands of actors that are certainly just as good as we are, that can do this, you know, that have their own style. I mean, maybe not the same style, but they're very talented. But the thing is now is that even though there are more roles, there's not the kind of flood like there was back in the 90s and late 90s and early 2000s, where it was like, you know, we've got a show after show after show, just couldn't pump it out fast enough.
Right.
And now while we're going, there's just a lot more actors. So, you know, whereas I might do 15 different roles in a series, now I'm doing 5 or 4, you know, so it's,
Sure.
because there's just more actors out there that can do it. And ideally, that's really what you want, as you know.
Yeah. Get that diversity.
Yeah.
And Lucy, you had the same kind of experience?
Well, I can definitely say that we've been in this game for a long time, and I never thought anime was going to figure into my life the way it has. I was just an actor, and I happened to book a lot of voice work. And the company that's now Sentai Filmworks, but it was ADV Films, had a straight up audition at my talent agency. And I will be 100% honest with you. I was like, I'm not quite sure what anime is when I went on this audition, but I knew that when I was in college, the boys would show a certain kind of anime in the back rooms of parties. All of you know you exactly know. And I was like,
are you kidding me?
And I was like,
there'd be a party going on, and then a certain group of boys would be like, hey, we're going to the back room.
That was hilarious what you just did.
Serious?
That's exactly right. And so it would be out in the back room, and you would go back and be like, what is that? What are those tentacles? What is happening?
No.
Oh my God.
So I am just here to I'm keeping it real. So when my agent was like, we have this anime audition for you, I was like, what? What?
Yeah, like almost insulted.
Do you have for me?
Right.
Anyway, so of course the short story after that is that I went to ADV Films and I read and got like a bit part in something, and I went home and told my roommate at the time that I was horrible, that I did not know how to dub anime. I was bad. They would never assuredly have me back. And there was an audition there a couple of weeks later, and I got cast as the lead and was in sheer total astonishment.
Yeah.
And that's when I went to the internet. I mean, I'm sure it was dial-up back then, where I was like, what are we doing? What is the anime? And I went to Anime News Network. I remember I found Anime News Network and learned about this entire community of people that were going to not only watch our work, but, you know, review you. And it was a whole thing. And I was just terrified that they would find out that I was a fraud and didn't know what I was doing. But it has worked out.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think that's safe to
For
say.
both of
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's worked
By
out.
that much.
I think it's so cool that you, I mean, I don't know if you just briefly said it, but did both of you start with theater acting on stage?
Yes, I did.
Fantastic.
That's
That's
fine.
just
Yeah.
that's where Jacob and I met.
Yeah.
Was through acting.
Exactly.
Through high school and stuff, and then Ethan came around a little bit later.
See, you are the picture of what we tell people, because people are always asking us about, you know, how to get started voice acting and stuff like that. And we always say, get involved with theater or get involved with acting classes or whatever, because aside from what you learn from the classes and the technique or whatever, you will meet other like-minded people and you will start liking each other, and you will get together and start making stuff.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that is where that is where everything will springboard. You will meet other people who are making stuff, and you'll collaborate with them, and you'll meet people that you work really well together.
Yeah.
And one of you will get into an industry and bring the rest of you along. And it's just kind of how it works.
And one of the other cool things is what you all have, and I say you all, collectively, your generation, or the people that are getting into this now, is that, which we certainly didn't have, is the internet the way it is now. I mean, Lucy mentioned it about dial-up. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, the...
I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah,
you did it, because
yeah.
I was about to make the sound. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it, not me.
My kids are like, what are you talking about? What is that? You know, and I'm like, that's what it used to be.
That's what it was.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
And now, you know, you've got a world now where, and Lucy and I both tell kids this, I want to get into this. Well, it's very difficult, but you know what isn't difficult? Well, it's all difficult, but I mean, nothing is preventing you from creating your own content
Yeah.
and putting it on YouTube. My son just started a Twitch channel. You know, he's
There you
playing
go.
video.
Yeah.
And he's like, I go, what's wrong? He's like, I only got like 5 viewers. I'm like, well, you need to promote it. Go get yourself a Twitter and get yourself a Facebook and put it out there. And I'll help you. And, you know, but you gotta promote it. And it's so funny to listen to him when people sign in. You know, he's got his headset on. He's like, oh, hey, Billy. Hi. How you doing? Welcome, man. Thanks for joining the feed. And he's so hospitable.
Yeah.
And I know other people do that kind of thing, but it's like, you know what? That's the kind of possibilities that exist now. You don't have to necessarily get the deal from the record company or the movie business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it can you can put it out there. And if you're persistent and you take time, and that's another thing that I don't think people always consider, is that they look at Lucy and Monica and me and, you know, Chris Sabat and just a host of other wonderfully talented people.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, oh, man, I want to do what you do. And it's like, you know, we've been doing this for like almost 30 years.
Right.
Right.
You put your dues in.
But it's like, this didn't happen. We didn't start this last week. You know? And that, unfortunately, one of the downsides with people like my son and that generation is they want it right now. They expect it to have this. Give it to me now. I just want it all now. It's like it just takes time, tenacity, banging your head against the wall until you just can't bang it anymore. And
But
Enjoy the ride.
Yes.
with one more, and the wall would come down, and everything would go well. You know, but
Sure.
But to that, don't you think, though, John? I mean, one of the real joys, I think, in my adult life that I could never have dreamed up is seeing anime go from something that, I mean, none of us ever thought it was going to be as big as it is now.
Sure.
When we
Yeah.
started doing this, there was no money in it, really, not much at all. And we went to cons, but it was such a different time. And now to see anime being so much more mainstream and so much more accessible to people, I'm excited about it. I mean, it's such a nice arc to see in our career that something you kind of started out doing just because it was here in Houston, but you never thought a whole bunch of people would see it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and both of you played a massive role in helping with that too. I mean, that whole.
thank you. But you know, Lucy, very I don't know if it's famously, but very humbly, famously, I would say, would always say this. It was a mantra that I sort of took, and I think a lot of other actors took it too. But even in the days, like I would call the glory days of ADV, when here in Houston, this company, ADV, had 6 studios running from 9 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. We were the #1 producer of anime in North America. Now, you were still getting it on DVDs.
Yeah.
They tried
Or
to launch.
episodes at a
They
time.
launched a platform.
Yeah.
They launched a VOD platform, which you're like, oh, this is cool. But there was no streaming yet. None of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Lucy mentioned conventions, and there might be, you know, hey, we want you to come to our convention. We'll either put you up or we'll fly you. One or the other. You pick what you don't want to pay for, and we'll pay for that.
Right.
And there might be 1 or 2 a month. Now, well, pre-COVID now.
Right.
But even now, like with Anime Dallas and other shows that are going to start coming back and whatnot, there are 5, 6, 7 of these a week, and they're not only paying for you to fly out, they're paying for you to be put up. They're giving you per diem. They're giving you appearance fees. They're setting you up with a table where you can sell your merch. I mean, it's completely been a game changer. And what Lucy used to say years ago, and maybe you still say this, Lucy, but I always thought it was a wonderful statement. And then she would say this, all of this, I am so grateful, but it could be over and end like that. With no explanations, no thanks for the work, nothing. It's just, and that's the way this business is. And I mean the entertainment business. It is.
Yeah.
And we're done. We're moving on. Thanks a lot. Bye. And so that's just something, you always have to take into consideration. And I just always thought those were such wise words from her and still do. But I was thinking, what you were just saying to Lucy, I think that now I don't think that's really going to be a possibility.
Yeah.
Well,
always assume it's your
Fingers
last
crossed.
time, but there's a pretty good chance that it's not.
yes,
Yeah.
I've always been aware that, I like being an actor, and it's incredibly unpredictable, but it suits me, and I'm okay with that. But I have always known that we're contract workers at the end of the day,
Right.
and companies have to do what they have to do. But I'll tell you, it's such a fun thing. Like, I've always seen from afar people who had, amazing sort of once in a lifetime things like Dragon Ball Z and, amazing shows that are just going to be iconic and forever. And it's just a thing, and it just is.
Right.
And then I'll tell you, when My Hero Academia happened, and we've experienced a little bit of that.
Right.
Like, what a gift. I just look at all of that as a huge gift.
Right.
It is
See
really
both, yeah.
something. It is really,
Absolutely.
and the number of people that are, it's just, I think, opening the anime fandom up to, like you said, how you guys pick movies and stuff that maybe aren't mainstream, or maybe that somebody who's not into anime is like, yeah, I'll watch that. That's what My Hero is, that show where somebody who's not into anime will watch that show.
Very much.
If there's one thing that that the West loves, it's superheroes. I tell you what.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So to bring things full circle and kind of put a pin in what we were just talking about, my fiance, who has been on the show and is not what I would consider an anime fan, was talked into by myself to go to The Boy and the Beast when it was in theaters and like a limited run when I think we were in Arizona at the time.
Right.
And so it was my first experience going to see an anime film in the theaters was this movie. And we went and saw it, and I wouldn't say she was like, I'm now an anime fan, but she really enjoyed it, and I obviously enjoyed it, and now we're watching it again. But to bring it full circle now, how did you guys? You're obviously well known at this time. I think you got these jobs probably around like 2015. So how did these jobs come around, and how did you guys kind of feel about it going in? Did you know? This is at post Summer Wars, so you probably knew that this was going to be a success. But how did you feel about taking the roles, and how were you like introduced to the characters?
You want to go, John?
Sure. So I had worked on Summer Wars, and of course, both of us had done a lot of work up at Funimation, who produced the film, or who dubbed it, I should say.
Right.
And, we, we're certainly are well known, and people know what our skill sets are and what, where we fall. And Mike McFarland, who was directing it, is sort of one of the older directors there. And he was actually the very first director I ever worked with at Funimation back in the day. And, we're friends and buddies, and, we, get along, and life is all cool and everything. But he called me in to audition for it. And I think he actually sent the sides down to me. I don't think I was up there for that one. But I remember there was something about it. Maybe it's because it was Mamoru Hosoda that I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And, But there was something about it that I was just like, you know what? I need to get this role. I want to do what I need to do to get this. And so I ended up, I did a lot more homework for that audition than I've ever done for any other role since, really.
Oh, yeah.
What did that look like?
I was like, reading everything I could about Hosoda. I was listening to what the Japanese actor did, and really kind of studying it. And we have a friend here in Houston that does a lot of work with Funimation. He's sort of their Houston studio. He's an independent guy, but when we do stuff through Source Connect and whatnot, we go to his studio. And so we were fairly, he's very familiar with their setups and whatnot. And I ended up sending off auditions. I spent probably 2 hours auditioning, and does that sound right? And asking him, and well, let's try it again. And we just kind of went round and round with it, and finally sent it off. And I don't think that it was a while, maybe a week or two before I heard anything, maybe even longer than that I got it. And I was beside myself. I couldn't believe it. And I went up to Dallas for 2 days and had about 16 hours worth of recording. And it was just a joy. And I was so thrilled with it. And Mike, there's some shows, I'm not going to, pretend this doesn't happen, but there's some shows when an actor comes in and they're good. I want to preface that. When they're good, they do a role, they do a line, and you're like, that was great. We're moving on, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is what it is. You're not reinventing the wheel.
Like they don't try to get the best take. They just kind of say, okay, we got it. And
it's just that one take might be great. I mean, we can do it. And is it going to be better? I don't know. I mean, maybe. But it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it, And I say that because a lot of actors, especially like Lucy, me, Monica, etc., we've been doing this so long. We understand the rhythms and the feel and the vibes, and we know what certain characters sound. You know what I mean? We just get it.
Yeah.
But with this guy, Mike, really, we took a lot of time with it and just didn't, just took our time with the lines. And, I think he way overbooked me for the time we needed. And so we could play with it and not rush through it. There wasn't a rush. It was just like, let's have fun and let's get it done. And at the end of the day, when it was all done, I was like, dude, that was, exhausting, but man, I think that turned out great. I don't mean to say like, man, I was great. I don't mean that. Yeah. I just mean,
We think you were.
This time
he was great.
This is a beautiful movie. Cast it perfectly, and Lucy could not be better. No one could have beat her on that. And but it was a beautiful transition between her and Eric Vale. I mean, that was it worked perfectly. Yeah. And even when I took my family to go see the movie, we went to Alamo Draft House here in Texas and Houston, and we went in and I took my whole family, and we came out, and my little daughter, who will forever be in my good graces for this, she was probably 9 years old at the time. She's walking out holding my hand. She's like, looks up and goes, "Daddy, you were awesome as the voice of the Beast." And of course, everybody's standing around like, what, freaking out and everything. And, but it was magical. And, selfishly, my only sad part is that it was a movie and it's not a series.
Right.
Sure.
It's beauty. It's a movie, and it just, I don't know. It was touching. And I'll throw it over to Lucy, but I will say that she's got a friend, or maybe, I don't know if it's Michael's friend or your friend, but we got to go kind of do what we're doing now, up in, where was that?
Wayne, Nebraska.
Yes, we got to.
I thought you were going to say Wayne Industries. Like, I was like, what?
We got to go up and they had a screening of the movie, and they had both of us up there, and it was a hoot, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you guys,
again, selfishly, I wish more would have come out of it. I think it was one of those movies that everyone loved, but it was kind of sleeper. No one. Didn't because they were going to have a big LA premiere and all that kind of thing, and that all kind of fell by the wayside. So
Sure.
But
so
I'm
completely ignorant to how these kinds of things happen. So you guys were not in the studio at the same time when you were recording these lines at any point?
No. Lucy, I don't even know your experience on this.
Never. My experience was Mike sent me the sides, and his instruction to me, he was like, what he does is they'll text you and say, or they'll send you an email and say, hey, I really am thinking of you for something. Can you audition? Are you interested? And you say, yes, please.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
So he sent me the sides, and he was very careful to say, this is a boy, and I really like it when you voice boys, but we are going for realism, not cartoons. Which really is a different thing. You've got your Nancy Cartwrights, who does an amazing Bart Simpson, but when they want something that is more dramatic and sort of straight, it's a real challenge. So
Yeah.
I recorded it in this studio that I'm sitting in right now. And I remember just watching it and listening to the Japanese and really loving the animation.
Yeah,
and,
it's gorgeous.
Wish and hope. I sent it off with a wish and a hope. And then, it was the same thing. I went up and recorded and enjoyed it so much because like John said, there is a difference. It's not that people do not care about the product. It's that as you go along and you're working on different things, you may have different amounts of time to devote to it. Or it may be, there may be a lot going on. And, but with something like that, that's a movie that is very likely to get a theatrical release, such care was taken with it. And Mike is so thorough and such a professional. He's so great and good at drawing out performances in people. Even like John said, people like us who tend to give good reads. We tend, and there are a lot of actors like that who've done it enough that their first read is not going to be far off.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
They know how to talk and how to have conversations, and they know how to hold that. But Mike is real good about sort of pushing you along just a little bit to get something just a little bit different or a little more special or a little more nuanced.
Yeah.
And it was just a joy, just a total joy.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, when I saw it in the theater, I took my husband and I did not check to make sure we were watching the dub. So we watched it in Japanese.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
And my husband kept looking at me.
Oh, man.
And I was like, we're just
like, when did you learn Japanese, honey? This is like...
Yeah.
So I watched it in Japanese and I was like, well, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what
funny.
we wanted
so
to. We were
good.
gonna ask,
It's
like,
so good.
in the recording process, do you listen to the Japanese voice actors like once before you go or during,
Yes.
or is that
Yeah.
how does that fit in?
I'm very interested in this side of it because you're coming from a perspective of like, normally if you're just being a character for something, you're going off of a script, you're reading it, you're building research, you're figuring out a character. But then in this situation, it's like you're doing that, but there's also already an established, finished product that's been made with an actor who's already done the role. How is that different? How do you go about it? Like, how do you attack that differently as an actor trying to figure out how to dub something versus having a character just from the beginning, I guess?
Well, I mean, John is a director, so he probably has a beat on this, but we're very dependent on our directors. I'll tell you.
Okay.
They fill in. They're generally the ones who bring you in and say, so this is the world you're in, and this is how your character fits into that world. This is their emotional, this is what's happening. And then you'll usually watch it once, just to see what the animation is and
Right.
what the lip flaps are and what the voice sounds like, what the Japanese did. And a lot of times the directors will say, I feel like the Japanese is a little high. I would like you to pitch it lower, or vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or notice that they're very soft. Keep that. I like.
So the whole
And then you
building the voice
Yeah.
happens along with the director. Like you don't walk into the studio and say like,
John's
have
like,
this-
oh yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
because it seems like, I mean, you guys knock it out of the park. It seems like you come into that studio and like you have this figured out to a degree. But like John, for your character, like when you came in as the Beast, did you kind of in your audition already kind of figure out that voice, or did that take Mike to kind of go back and forth on that?
Well, all of the above. I mean, everything Lucy just said, everything y'all have just touched on, it's all of the above. I mean, there's no, if you do ABC, you'll get the voice. I mean, there's so many different factors. But the first thing, and again, this goes back to when I was researching the role, is listening to what the Japanese actor did, because the Japanese actor is the one that created it.
Right.
You know, we're not trying to take that away from him or her.
Okay.
We're there to dub it into English and sound as close to them as possible. Now, that doesn't mean we're trying to mimic them per se or copy them, because we are bringing our own thing to it. And the different languages have different, things that you hit and
inflections and whatnot.
Right. But it's but you do want to be in the boat. And I'll take just a little sidebar here and give you an example. When I auditioned for the role in Soul Leader for Lord Death, I had been working. I think at the time had been working up in the studio up in Dallas on One Piece, or it may have been My Bride is a Mermaid. But it was a voice where it was something like this. And Zach Bolton goes, "Hey, man, I want you to audition for this thing called Soul Leader, and your character's name is Lord Death." Well, I didn't know anything about the show, but I mean, the name Lord Death, I'm expecting, I'm Lord Death, that kind of.
Yeah. Big, scary, yeah.
And I went in and just,
he goes, hello! Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, stop. No. Listen to the Japanese guy. Oh, wait, he's way up here like this. Yeah. So it's completely different.
Right.
And so that's kind of, that's one thing. But then also, like Lucy said, you're really leaning on your director to guide you in. So, but then also as a director, I'm also looking to the actor to, okay, what are you bringing to the table, and let's work together to make it work. So, like a show we're doing right now that Lucy is in, that I'm directing, called Snafu.
Okay.
She came in with this character, and I said, okay, so you give her kind of a description, then I say, let's look at this scene where you can see her and see how she acts and see what she sounds like. And then let Lucy, or whatever actor it is, but Lucy was the example we're using, obviously. Let Lucy go, okay, all right, let's try this. And then we'll do a few lines, and then we either go, let's go with not quite so high or not quite so young, or, whatever it might be. Or Lucy might listen to it and go, can I do that again? I saw something
really
that I didn't like. I'd like to, let me just try that again. And then, so you kind of, it's a process, in Soul Leader, for example, even after I got the part, the first recording session, we did like 30 minutes of the session, and Zach, the director, was like, stop. Okay. Where you are right now with the voice is exactly where I want it to be. So let's just start over.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Yeah. And, but then we were in the zone. So, and, the one of the beautiful things and fortunate things is that, again, Lucy and I have been doing this long enough that, number one, we can find that voice pretty quickly, but also, there's a certain range of voices, especially with the proliferation of more actors coming into the scene. but there's a range of voices that we fall into that the directors kind of go, this is kind of John's wheelhouse right here. This is what, if we need this, we'll call John. You know, they're not going to call me to do a 12-year-old boy or a 16-year-old teenager. Right. Not going to sound right. Unless it's some freaky Friday setup, you know. But it's a real process, and you know. But the cool thing is working with there's a distinct difference when working with Luci Christian and working with somebody who's never done this before.
Right.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Of course.
I mean, just you saying just now when you were like, okay, do it younger, like I would have no idea where to start with that. So kind of going in that same vein, I think both your characters have a pretty significant arc in the way that you deliver the lines, and like the characters themselves change, their personality develop, because the whole theme of the whole movie is identity and, you know, the themes that deal with that. So how, as a voice actor, do you kind of make those like micro adjustments where, you know, by the end of the film, the Beast is more of a fatherly figure than a mentor? And I think at least my interpretation of what you did, John, he felt different. He felt more fatherly than in the beginning. He was kind of more gruff and aggressive in his delivery. And so are those things that like, are those micro adjustments things that now you're just, that's no problem, that comes naturally, or are those things that you really have to work on?
No, and Lucy said this earlier, we depend on the directors, and that is pure and simple, man. That's where the director is absolutely invaluable.
Yeah.
Sure.
Even in a movie like this where, you know, Lucy and I are going to be in a majority of the film. We're not in every scene, but we're going to be in enough of it that we get a good sense of what's going on. You know, a lot of times you come in as an actor and you have no clue what the context of the scene that you're doing is. What happened in the scene just before it to make you say these lines? We don't always get that luxury. But in this case, we did. But even then, you really have to rely on the director, because he or she is going to know those points and those marks, those, you know, milestone, whatever you want to call them, where, okay, here's the shift, here's the change. And, man, I remember very distinctly, Mike was, you know, because I was getting into stuff, and he's like, okay, we're too gruff. It's you've made the change, you know, you need to dial that back a little bit, have a little more.
I felt that, yeah.
Did you record it chronologically? Like, were you? Oh, okay. So you were able to be like, okay, that's where I was. Yeah, back here.
I don't think I've ever recorded anything non-chronologically.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
I just hear about that with like Hollywood.
Well, it's very different from a live action set sometimes, where it can't always be chronological.
You know? Duh, yeah.
But that's cool. No, yeah, I mean, if you can, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is just in turn, it's kind of not the same, but it is. We recorded when we got One Piece, we were in the 100s.
Yeah.
So we didn't go back.
Yeah.
We didn't go back and start with episode 1 until we'd been dubbing that series a year and a half, 2 years or something.
Wow.
So I had never seen.
Wait.
Yeah.
So are you saying that when
I love that your mind is
One
blown.
Piece started airing in the West, you started dubbing like the hundreds episodes before you put out the first ones?
Yes. So what happened was.
What?
No, what happened was that. John, what was the name of that other company? The company that had One Piece before Funimation.
Is that
Four Kids?
Four Kids.
So they had a broadcast contract, and we were still under that. As far as I knew, when we came on and One Piece was, when Funimation started dubbing it, we had to pick up where they were in their broadcast contract.
Okay.
So we were in the 100s. And there were 3 different studios at Funimation working on One Piece and trying to meet these deadlines. And I remember we would like run from studio to studio going, how are you saying this island's name? Like, what is happening?
No.
You know, trying to figure it
man.
out. And it wasn't until Funimation had moved, I feel like we were already in the new space. It's not new anymore, but when we went back and started with episode 1, because I had never seen like Nami's backstory. I had not
so
seen that.
That's so wild.
Isn't that weird? Yes, that is the
Yeah,
total
because
truth.
Nami's backstory is like they tell it really early. That's the first
That
one.
the first one.
whole
Well, no,
Arlong,
Zoro's
it's the Arlong
first,
arc,
but-
and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, but yeah, it's
Oh,
so that was something
Wow.
that happened not chronologically, but generally in our shows we do
Just straight up.
go
It-
chronologically.
at
Yeah.
least like
Okay.
within the episode, at least, or whatever like that day's project is.
Yes,
Interesting.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
and we're never in the same. We're never in the same booth. The only time people ever record at the same time are some studios do Walla sessions with people in the booth at the same time. A lot of background stuff.
Okay.
With people in a
Oh.
restaurant sound, school kids. There's lots of school kid
Cool
Walla.
kids.
How
Crowd.
would you mimic that? Would you like just borrow a kindergarten class and have them play around in the back? Like, how do you
No,
get
they would
that?
get like me, John, a bunch of people in there, and of like maybe 4 people. And they would say, okay, you guys are, it's in the hall between classes. So a lot of like, maybe I don't want this test. I'm nervous about this test. Or
Uh-huh.
so you just sit and they'll go and it lasts, 35 seconds. And so
Right.
we're all wearing headphones. And when our cue comes, we just start going, oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I don't want
I'm
to.
not sleeping.
I don't know. I don't know.
I am so tired. Oh my gosh.
And then just like layer it on
Where
top until you
are
have
you?
the.
Oh
Oh my gosh! Cool.
Yeah, and you just do
But
that,
it-
and they
but it's
buried
really-
it.
It's a cacophonous mixture.
Sure. Yeah. Because it's not
Exactly.
meant
And
to be.
And if they need to make it
discernible.
cool kids, if they need to make it really young, they'll just pitch it all up.
Yeah. Sure.
Or they'll get us in there and be like, you're that little boy with the blue shirt. And all you have to do is cry because your ice cream cone fell in the thing. And so I just watch the thing and go, and
That's great.
that's it.
Dude, technology is so cool.
Isn't it fun?
Oh.
Like
Is
I
technology
just
so cool? Can you smell the pot I'm smelling? I'm not kidding. I think one of my neighbors is smoking out here.
Yeah.
I
Well,
Something about
getting
Wallet
down
too
the
that I know
swamp.
that I asked the directors once, like how, because everything is so fast now, you have to turn in things, the deadlines are so tight. And I was like, how do you acclimate new people to doing this work? There's just not a learning curve. And so a lot of times they will use Walla sessions to sort of bring new people in and let them start getting a feel for the work, let them do a few Walla sessions and then a few boy in blue shirt and
Right.
be
girl
like
with the headband.
first person
Right.
exposure to
Okay.
well, we won't
Cool.
keep you guys too much
Cool.
longer here. We just have a couple more questions. I think one thing that I'd like to know, just kind of your day to day now, like how is 2020? How has working from home affected you as voice actors? Is that something that's been an easy transition, or is
What do you
or,
think?
Yeah, elaborate and build a big thing at home. Or
We've had kind of different experiences.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you mine real quick, then I'll go refreshing my beverage and let Lucy tell you.
All right.
And first of all, let me also just say to you and all your fans watching and listening that so sorry for all the hubbub going here, but every time I do something like this, life never stops at the Swasey house, and it's just like I'm always,
yeah.
That's a
We
good,
just
that's
appreciate
a,
you coming
that's
on.
a good quote. I like that quote.
Lucy's so. Last time we did a video kind of thing, her daughters would peek in the back door, and she turned the door and stuff, and the dog would come in. It was so cute as could be, But anyway, so what was the question?
Like
recording
working in
during the
2020.
pandemic.
Yeah, how's 2020 been for you? Yeah.
So for me, I've been working as a director and actor at Sentai Filmworks,
Okay.
and I also have another job doing some video production for another company on the side. And I was contract for both basically,
Uh-huh.
and then doing stations and stuff like that, and doing voice work, commercials and industrials and such. And when the pandemic hit, a couple of good things happened. Number one, I had just gotten word of the next show I was directing, and they said, but nobody's written it yet. Do you want to write it? And I was like, oh, well, I've got 2 weeks. You bet I'll write it. So I really like to write shows. But so I wrote the show, so I was busy then. And then I had, because I'm an independent contractor, I was able to get a PPP loan or whatever you call it. And then through my other job, my film job, they got a PPP loan and were able to pay me. So I really kind of never, knock on wood, never lost a step. Okay. And then I will say this: Sentai, Joey. We were talking about Joey, who directs Knights of the Zodiac, and some other folks at Sentai really busted their humps and got us where we could go back into the studio and record and feel safe about it.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, they came up with some protocols and some stuff, and frankly, stuff that even after all of this is gone, these protocols will probably remain in place forever and ever.
Just because they're good ideas.
Just to make sure we're always safe. And they did a great job with it. And so that was that. I had a couple of things I had to record at home. I don't really have my own studio like Lucy does. So but I do have a setup. And so I was able to record a couple of things. I did some stuff for My Hero, but it was like 5 or 6 lines. It was not a big chunk. Right. So they sent me the lines in time of here's the timing we need, and I just recorded it and sent it back. So mine was pretty easy, and then we got back into the studio almost pretty quickly. So I was back doing that. But Lucy's stories is significantly different because I remember talking to her about Funimation was sending out equipment to people, and I was like, oh my God, he's having it now edit. So I will let you tell that tale, Lucy, because it's different. But
well, my COVID story is a little different than John's. Everything slowed down, and actually, I just ended up turning almost all of my attention to my kids. Because suddenly they were home and trying to do online school, and everybody's trying to figure it out.
Juggle that.
Yeah. And so that was the whole thing. I have been really fortunate, I have to say. Things could always be better, but they could definitely be worse. I've had enough work to sustain my life during this time. I've always been thankful that I have a bunch of eggs in my basket. I've never totally relied on anime or any one thing to sort of be it.
Awesome.
So I've had I do audiobooks and things like that. So I've gotten a few books during the time. I do a lot of like corporate type work and stuff like that, where you read sort of soul killing training videos. But somebody's got to read it
over for like training videos. That's amazing. One of my
in this course, you will.
Gosh.
I will tell you, there is nothing sexier to a voice actor than to do 7 hours of voiceover about arc welding.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Accounting.
Welcome
accounting is like my
accounting.
Dude, no, that's just one of my favorite memories of me, Jacob, and one of our past roommates is we somehow got a hold of a local grocery store's training DVD. I don't know how we found that, but we were like, wouldn't it be funny?
It was at a Goodwill.
Yeah, it was at a Goodwill. And we were like, let's get this. And we just had a whole night watching that thing and making fun of it. And it was was one of the great.
That is awesome.
So and if somehow you can get the rights, that's the kind of thing you need to dub.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Just go and
Oh,
make the
man.
words completely different. Oh my gosh, that would be
That'd be great. Oh,
that would be
man.
something.
One of
Okay.
the, like John said, I mean, Sentai. So I've continued to also have work. That's the thing. I've been thankful for the work I've been able to have. Going to Sentai, they set up very clear. They're also a pretty small house, so
Okay.
they are able to restrict things. I think a lot easier than larger companies. Funimation. I have to say, they were so, I feel like, brave and awesome. They reached out to us saying, would you be interested in recording from home? I never thought that would be a thing.
Wow.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
I live in Houston, and Funimation
Mhm.
is in Flower Mound, just north of Fort Worth, which is 4.5 hours from my house. I have been making that drive for a long time, for like 13 years or something. And anyway, they set it all up where they gave out kits to some people. I did not get that. I have my own setup, but we figured out how to do it. And it was, I mean, the first My Hero episode we did from home, I remember going, how are they doing this? How are they taking how are they taking my sound that comes from my setup here
Mhm.
and
Right.
putting it in the same world as Cliff's sound and Justin's sound
Right.
and Colleen's
Wow.
sound? And how are they doing that? And they did
Yeah.
that. And I think that's amazing. I
Yeah.
just
Changing
feel
the
like
room sound and whether or not it's reverberating and doing all that.
That's incredible,
It's-
actually.
it's
That's really
amazing.
cool.
It's amazing.
That's, yeah.
Oh, that's
and I feel like-
That's, yeah.
I feel
I
like
love
they
it.
did that. Them doing that was like this moment of, hey, we have an opportunity to get our show in fans' hands in maybe not the most pristine way, but the way that has the most heart and camaraderie and like
Sure, yeah.
collective
Yeah.
effort. It was so, I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
there's that. So I've been lucky to continue to work for them and for Sentai. I'm doing my little audio books and doing my business. My kids have just started back to school again. So we are again virtual learning.
Yep.
Mm.
And looking at the future. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been 6 months in, and I feel like there are days when I just feel like I've hit the wall. I miss my community of people.
Mm.
Mm.
I think we all miss moving in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like having agency, just the agency.
Mhm.
And I dream of when that's gonna come back. Like we make little plans. John and I'm on John's board this year, and we did have Anime Houston. We canceled it appropriately, and then Anime Dallas is the first weekend in December. And so far, it's on. It's far enough out that we are trying to make a projection, but you just can't really know.
Yep.
Right.
And I feel like
Mm.
that's where we all are, is sort of the fatigue of making tentative
yeah.
plans, but always knowing that they may
When
drop
it's
off your
been-
I
calendar.
think, to elaborate on that a little bit, when this all started, I was actually looking at a document today online. And, it wasn't until it started in January, number of cases in America, blah, blah, blah. There wasn't even a positive case in Texas until March.
Right.
And it was one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like what?
But the way things had been going,
Yeah.
it was like, it's here. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, dude, it's one. So what? And we have an event here that I'm involved with called the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and it's the end of February, beginning of March, first few weeks of March, and millions of
A
people.
month-long rodeo, you guys.
Wow.
It's huge,
That's
Wow.
great.
and
That sounds like the most Texas thing I've ever
It
heard
is the
of.
most.
it is.
That's,
It is.
that's like a month-long rodeo. Like,
It was like
wow.
when they were in
Oh.
about a week and a half, halfway through.
Yeah.
And when they made the call, we're shutting it down. I think that's when shit got real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like,
And
man,
South by
everybody
Southwest
kind of
down
went.
here.
Everybody kind of went. what?
Right.
So that first 2 weeks when it was all shut down and like everybody just stayed home and everybody watched Carol Baskin and Tiger King.
Oh my God. I can't believe that was this year. Oh man.
That seems like so long ago.
Sat on this porch.
Yeah.
And every night, we had family time and it was, whatever, but it was like the weather was beautiful and it was all great. But you're like, well, this is going to be over in a couple of weeks. Fine.
Yeah.
It's all an imposed vacation. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I would never thought we would be here where we are today. But I will also say that we've learned a lot of things. And one of those things, though, is you got to be smart, you got to be responsible, and you've got to be compassionate. But you have to be smart. That's the first thing. Or the
Smart, responsible, compassionate. That's 3 pillars to live a life on, I think.
But the thing is, and that's why, Lucy said right now we are going to put on Anime Dallas.
Mhm.
But in our video, Lucy points out, if at any time we feel that it ain't going to work, if numbers start to go up or if whatever, if we don't feel it's going to work, then we're pulling the plug. That's it.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
And your money, you can come next year. You've already paid for next year. But it's just not worth it. It's not about, I think we can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Only if we can do it safely. Only if we can do it smartly, respectively.
Yeah.
There's so many factors involved, and it's like, but we have to live our lives. We can't sit on the back porch forever.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That just won't work. Lucy just said it. She misses her people. She misses that. We need to have that interaction. I mean, you can only say, "Hey, I love you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having those interactions
Yeah.
where you see somebody and then you're like, wait, are we hugging? Are we?
I know, it's so
do you wanna-
awkward.
yeah.
It is.
Do you shake
Yeah.
hands? Is that enough? I don't
It's so weird. And then the
Yeah.
elbow bump is so weird. It's all weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is
That's
weird.
like a
It
thing.
is.
Like I've worked in restaurants so long, and I'm just like, is that like our hands? Like, are we in the kitchen like working with stuff, and we're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing with the elbow? Let me tap that.
Yeah.
I did not say
Well-
that. I did not say that sentence.
Oh man.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up here.
That is
I think I just have
awesome.
one more question with you guys.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and John, if you gotta go, that's totally fine. I just kind of wanted you guys to say, what you're working on, where people can like find you currently,
Oh yeah.
and then you guys can sign off. And we appreciate you guys coming on. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if you,
Okay. Well, I am currently in Snafu. I'm working on with John, and what else at Sentai? Made in Abyss, the 3rd movie just came out, and it's wonderful. I mean, it's rough. You guys don't show that to your kids. It's rough.
We've been watching some rough stuff recently, so fair enough.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I thought I was going to show it to my kids, and then I thankfully took a little look-see, and
Let me have a little look-see.
that is rough. It is rough. But so good. I'm so proud of that show.
Mm.
And the soundtrack, I'll tell you, that's a good COVID soundtrack. The Made in Abyss soundtrack,
Ooh.
from the whole season in the movies is just
Okay.
So
that.
what else? There's the Millionaire. The detective show Funimation is doing right now. That's awesome. It's Cliff Show. I'm in that. And I am, if anybody loves audiobooks, I have quite a few really fun audiobooks on Audible that, depending on what you like, I tend to do romances and YA books. There's a
Okay.
couple of sci-fi trilogies that are really good, the Shifter trilogy.
Okay.
But anyway, that's where you can see me these days or hear me.
great.
Or,
Cool.
if you're like learning some training at Chevron, then
I might go try and get a weekend job at Chevron
Just to
now,
see.
just so I can like
Just to watch
go
it.
through the training process and be like,
I'm
wait,
super good with acronyms, you guys. Yeah.
love it.
That's awesome.
Love it.
So, and something else I will just let that dovetail into also what Lucy has done is, aside from Anime Dallas, which we're very excited about, if you're in the Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas area, get your ticket. But I have a new children's book coming out.
Oh.
Zeke Gets Glasses.
Zeke Gets Glasses.
All right.
And it's a wonderful little children's book. It's hard to see with the sunlight, but it's I'll show you a little artwork here, but you can see it's kind of cool. It's got all kinds of nifty stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
But did you do the illustrations too?
No. A very talented actor friend of ours, Blake Shepard, did them.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We did an audio version, and Lucy is in the audio version of it.
Ah.
But we did it. It's not just an audio book. It's acted out like an audio play. So she plays
Very cool.
Goose. And the whole premise of the thing is Jungleburg it actually was kind of born out of anime conventions, but it's a place that is very inclusive. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Diverse.
Okay.
You know, there's all kinds of different animals in Jungleburg that you wouldn't find in a jungle.
Cool.
So it's kind of got that feel, and it deals the series will deal with, this is the first book, but the series will deal with things that kids might deal with that to an adult we're like, it's no big deal, get over it. But to the kid, it's actually something.
A big
Right.
So we have our next book actually written. We're just tweaking it now. It's about a squirrel who's afraid of heights.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Lucy will be in that as well. And but it's a wonderful series, and so I encourage everybody to go out and check it out. Other than that, for me, just working at Sentai, working, directing, loving life, dealing with life as it comes, and
yeah.
go pick up a bucket of fried chicken.
That's
Love to hear that.
That's a good evening right there.
That's right.
Well, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah.
I appreciate both of you and wonderful stories.
This
And
was so fun.
The Boy and the Beast was great. You guys rocked it. I don't know how else I can say it. So
It was such a good movie. And it was so beautiful. I'll tell you one of my favorite images from that movie, because I didn't see Eric's parts until the movie was out. I had never seen the end of the movie.
Right.
And I bawled like a baby. And I loved the all of the imagery of the whale and all of
Right.
I thought that was just stunning. What an amazing thing they made. So pretty. And what an honor. I think John and I both would say that you couldn't dream up this career. It sort of comes along, and then you get to be a part of it, and it's just amazing.
Right.
Well, one of the things that was really for me that was sort of a feather in my cap, if you will, or a kind of look at me. But, when we audition for these roles, a lot of times we send in our auditions, and the team at Funimation or Sentai, whoever will listen to it, but the people in Japan actually may have the ultimate say-so.
Yeah.
Like, do you like that voice, or no, we don't like that voice.
Yeah.
So when I got selected for Boy and the Beast, I was sort of like, Mamoru Hosoda picked my voice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Then I found out from Mike McFarlane, no, he didn't. I didn't. So I just said, well, that's fine. But when I tell the story, Hosoda picked.
Right.
And you did Summer Wars too, so that's another one. So
So good.
that's great.
Well, guys, thank you so much for having me and Lucy. I know I don't want to speak for her, but it's been a real joy, man. It's been a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Yeah, thank you.
No, that's
Thank you.
thank you very much for everything. I was like, guys, I really just want to ask them about like advice on things, and I didn't even have to do it. You just like,
Yeah, you guys are wonderful.
above and beyond. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. This was awesome.
Great.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, you guys take care, and we will
too.
see you maybe hopefully someday in person. That would be awesome.
That would
be awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got done having a great discussion with the two main dub actors from The Boy and the Beast, John Swasey and Luci Christian. We had a great time. It was a really interesting talk about just how the industry works and their history in it. So now we want to actually have a little, just a little short discussion about the movie itself. And then, of course, as always, with every Devil Fruit review, give our ratings at the end.
Amen, brother.
F through S. Which one will it be? You'll have to listen all the way through to find out.
I mean, you could skip, but don't do that.
Yeah, don't skip. I don't know why you would skip. I mean, look, we're having good discussions here.
Listen, just like what John said, it's about the process. It's about the ride. You got to enjoy it as you go.
Yeah,
So
and if you want to be a smart, responsible, compassionate person, which is exactly what John Swasey wants you to be. If you want to be good in the eyes of John Swasey, then you listen to the entire podcast.
I really do.
I want to be good in the eyes of John Swasey.
Well, then you better listen to the whole podcast, Joe. In fact, you're a part of it. The Boy and the Beast. So The Boy and the Beast. It was quite a good movie.
I loved it.
It was pretty good. It was a good time.
It was so good.
There was a boy. There was a beast.
Yeah.
And in a way, metaphorically, couldn't they be both?
So this was my folklore pick.
Yes.
And I think that by no stretch this was folklore, but I think that if you're not familiar with Japanese folklore, that you probably wouldn't say like that was a folklore movie. So I went and looked it up, as far as like what this is based on.
Okay.
And religion, folklore, those kinds of things are usually a staple of Japanese anime. And the parallels between like the mystical, the magical, and then the real world, which this is very much that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that Spirited Away is probably the movie that most people have seen that this is most familiar to, as far as like there's the real human world. They cross through this alleyway and they're in this world of a different, beasts rule the world, but not really. And so I looked up the terminology for this. So The Boy and the Beast is, I don't know how to say this, and you might have to help me, Jacob.
Okay.
Bakemono, I think it's called. Bakemono.
Bakemono sounds correct, yeah.
Is the word for this realm of folklore, what this world is that we saw. The world of the beasts.
Which is why Bakemonogatari is called what it's called, because Gatari is story, so it's a story about
there we go.
Connections.
In Spirited Away, it's more concerned with the Shinto faith and the world of spirits, while this is the world of beasts.
Right.
Cool.
Okay. So that's the folklore. These Bakemono, in this realm, they're spirits that can shapeshift. And the reincarnation that they talk about through the film is kind of what that is hinting at. They don't really like flush that out until the end of the film.
Right, until you see our main character change into a sword.
A sword of the soul, which is the coolest shit ever. Like, it
you guys weren't kind of bummed that he didn't just pick up the sword, though?
I kind of was expecting that, and I fully comprehend the reason why that didn't happen, and I respect it. The massive action weeb inside of me, my own soul, sword soul.
Your
my own soul sword.
Jeez.
that inside of me wanted him to pick up the sword and do cool stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I understand why that didn't happen. And that was one thing I will say. It's not a critique of the movie, but just based off of the cover and just like the overall look of the film, I really expected this to just be like a crazy fun time action romp. And it was a lot more than that.
It was
Like-
so much
Yeah.
more.
Like
As
a lot
anime
more than
tends
that.
to be.
Yeah, it
At
was,
least
you
the good
know,
anime.
At
it
least,
was,
yeah. I
uh,
was like, ah!
it was
The good anime.
it was like yeah, you got all of your like it was like you got a lot of your action movie tropes of like training and like the bickering between the master and the student, and you got all that kind of stuff, and then you got some really cool action scenes, but then
Yeah.
it was done in a very unique fashion, and then there was all this other metaphor being built through that whole film, mainly talking about like identity and fighting your own demons and finding a sense of belonging and family and parenthood and
Yeah, Parenthood was a big one.
very very interesting stuff just across the board.
I think I'd be interested to see this film again, in like 20 years, once I've had an experience of like raising a child. If it hits different.
And I, 20 years from now, will ask you about that because I doubt I'll have children. But
Well, no, but think about it. Think about it this way. Like, I think that you and me and Joe probably at this point in our lives all identified with Ren. I think later in our lives we'll be able to identify more with Kumatetsu than with Ren.
Right.
And that will be interesting to see.
Well, I mean, in a way, I already relate to yelling at children.
Oh, sure.
But
What children are you yelling at, Jacob? What?
don't worry about it.
Oh.
So yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. Exactly. Like it definitely. I think I definitely think that we're still so young that I feel like I still relate to kids more in a lot of those situations.
Yep. So I think we should talk about. I mean, the beginning of the film is pretty straightforward. He's a runaway. He stumbles into the world of the beasts, somewhat by accident, somewhat
as like
because
Is it accident though? That's one of my
It
things.
wasn't. It
Because it's
wasn't.
like, because they said, how did he get there? And it's like, you can only get here by following a very specific pattern of paths.
Yeah,
Which
right.
in and of
chasing their
itself
shadows.
is so cool. Because that's a whole statement, I think, on like, how do you get to the spirit world, like afterlife sort of thing? Like, how do you do it? Well, you live a certain way. You follow a certain set of paths. I mean, maybe I'm reading into it too much. I don't know, but I don't
I like
know if
that.
it was completely accident.
Sure.
I mean, yeah. Well, and I think Kumatetsu kind of guided him, sort of. Like he didn't like very
Yeah.
specifically do it, but he like hinted at like where he was at enough where I think he sort of figured it out. And then you could also make a definite argument that it was almost like a fateful encounter how he was able to get through the path properly, something like that.
Sure. But then we get to the most lit scene very shortly afterwards,
I love using the word lit.
where well, maybe it's not very shortly afterwards because he becomes his apprentice
Right.
by force.
Are you talking about the first fight?
The first fight
Yes.
with Yozen.
Yes.
You mean the Aslan pig?
Yeah, very confused about what type of animal he was because he was
Dude,
very
was a
much
boar,
a pig.
right?
He was a he was like a boar, but he was also a lion because like that mane is not what a boar has.
Yeah, he looked like freaking Aslan, like Narnia status with tusks.
Aslan is cool.
Aslan's fantastic. He's Aslan is Jesus.
Check out for the next Winner Chicken Dinner when we watch the
Chronicles of Narnia, the live
Chronicles of
action.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, guys.
So his first fight. Were you into it?
Dude, when they first clash swords, and I loved the seeing Aslan's like recoiling sword like vibrate in his hand. I thought that was such a cool way of showing the power.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And then you see their transformation for the first time.
Yeah, that was a very interesting. That was something I didn't expect because I was like, okay, so world of like beast men, cool, great, whatever. You know, some of them seem to have like we don't like get the full concept of the magic abilities until we like hear about like how the one kid's got like telekinesis or whatever. But then we learned that he was a human the whole time, so I don't even know. But you know, these beasts seem to have like kind of magical powers, but they're kind of just big beastmen that have like super strength. Then we get to that fight, and it's like, oh, they also have this weird ability to like revert further into their beast form to like gain strength for a like limited amount of time.
You know what my mind immediately went to through that?
Animorphs.
No, Legend of Zelda.
Master Roshi.
It was straight up Ganondorf turning into Ganon especially because he was a boar. I was like, dude,
that's very true.
I was like, he is now Ganon. That's all I got from it, cool. And he's like an Aslan Ganon. I was into it.
Yeah,
I was thinking about when Roshi beefs up.
Oh, with the original Kamehameha wave.
So before we get into a Dragon Ball Z conversation, but that was really cool. The fight scene was really cool, and I like that was like the moment that we were able to see Ren like realize that Kumatetsu was, you know, the same as him in the sense that like no one really wanted him around, people didn't like him, and like that helped him relate to a degree where he was like, you know what, no, I think this guy could understand me. I will let him teach me, kind of thing.
And that moment when he cries out his name and Kumatetsu just is in disbelief, like utter disbelief, and he's
first time he's ever heard of his
looking
life.
around.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that I thought that was so well done.
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and getting to see their training was super interesting.
Yeah, that's like the next like 30 minutes of the film is almost just like a big training montage.
Right,
I'm so into it
because it's so cool how like they went for a very interesting flipped approach to training montages where usually you're gonna, you know, I would say like you're the biggest like the most stereotypical training montage in my head is either Rocky or Karate Kid. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if you're talking about one where you're like specifically have a mentor that's like guiding you, Karate Kid is like the thing where constantly it's just like the person trying to do something and the mentor comes in and like perfectly shows like, no, you got to do it like this. And then like they start to figure it out. At this one, they said, let's take that idea, flip it completely on its head, and just have Kumatetsu be the worst teacher possible. He can't explain anything he does. Yeah, exactly. So it's like he can't explain anything because to him, it's just that's what he learned. He's never had to teach anybody. It's just like you just do it. That's all he gets. But then like to take this whole different approach where then it becomes like the kid naturally begins to learn by just following and mirroring the movements and recognizing like what he's doing. And then he gets so good at it that he starts knowing what he's going to do before he can even do it. Which I think that was the key moment where you start to go, where I forget who said it, but like the whole thing about the master and the master and the student, they kind of they're both at the same time. That's the moment
Lord,
where
the rabbit lord, he mentions it at the end of the training montage. He's like, no, but Kumatetsu's getting better too, and blah blah blah. And
you realize that it's almost like they're not master and student in a way. Like they're building each other up together. And that was really cool. How'd you guys feel about the quick montage of them just like traveling across the world?
I thought
meeting masters to like find true strength.
Pretty cool, actually, because I was like, oh, this is going to be the whole movie,
right?
And it wasn't, and I'm okay with it.
I did like that they took a comedic approach to it. where it was just like show up somewhere and someone was like, true strength, that's dumb. This is all I do. And they were like, so what is it then? They're like,
I think, but I think they did such a good job of like true strength is, what is it? It's an illusion. What is
that
it?
was the first one.
It's patience. What is it? It's
timing.
the willingness to be like the stone.
Yeah. And then timing.
It's the little quips that like play off of like Taoism almost.
Yeah.
And I ate that up.
Well, and I like that. I like that it shows that I think really like true strength is what you make it in a way, because everybody has a different viewpoint and all of them are valid in a completely different way. And it really just becomes like, how much do you believe in that form of thinking? And that becomes that strength, I guess. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's that was, you know, what I thought was interesting about it while they were also being comedic about it.
I thought it was, I loved it. I did.
I also really do like the visual concept of humans having darkness inside of them that they have to keep in check. And I think that there is a very interesting conversation there where I think even if you are a good person, there's there's always times when you can dip into that dark side of yourself. And it's different. And it's different, like how, like, you know, obviously it's different what level that is. I'm not saying that like, you know, Joe's a great guy, but like sometimes when he has a bad day, he just like murders people. Like, you know, like I'm not saying that, you know?
I mean, but I mean, that can even tie in with a silent voice. Like, you know, a quote unquote good person can still do bad things. That's
right.
There, I personally, something that I try to live by and try to tell myself before I ever judge somebody is I don't think that there is something as a good person or a bad person.
No.
It's just a person. Everybody is living more or less there's just people. And
it's just that you're affected by the way that you grow up and the way that you live. And then in turn, you decide the type of person you're going to be. And even when you decide to be a good person as much as you can, you're not always going to be that person. But it's all about how much you're keeping yourself in check. And that's really what it is that even sometimes, like, you know, like if I had to give an example for myself, something like, you know, sometimes I get really short-tempered and I can get really mad with people and say some nasty things when, like, I don't know, like when I'm at work or whatever it may be. But the thing is that when that happens, I always, even if I end up letting that out, I will stop and go, okay, you might have done that, but now you need to recognize that wasn't the right way to do it. You shouldn't have done that. You should apologize for that and recognize that you shouldn't do that going forward. And like, it's always like you can't be perfect, but as long as you're keeping yourself in check, that's what makes the biggest difference. And you can't let your history, which is a thing that they talk about in this movie, you can't let, you know, your past experiences completely affect how you're acting now, because what's the point? You know, you're just letting it take you over, which is very visually shown with the whole like hole in their chest kind of like enveloping them. Is like, are you going to let that take over your entire being, or are you going to recognize what you're doing as wrong and keep yourself in a good spot, you know?
Yep.
So very interesting stuff there. And then obviously coming into that ending fight scene with the whale is fucking awesome. Or I guess we should talk about the fight scene that Kumatetsu and Lion Pigman that they have Yosen, because then they have their rematch, and that was great.
It was cool.
I love arena matches. Can I just say that? I love when there's just a fight in a big arena. That's a good time.
I loved the clashing of the swords, and they had such force that the one sheath just shattered.
Yeah.
I love the idea that they couldn't unsheath the swords. That was like so
Right.
interesting to me.
Out of respect.
I don't know why that was cool, but it really was.
I think it goes back to Japanese history, and there's a whole era where swords were outlawed.
Sure. But it's like, they were allowed to have the sword, but they couldn't unsheath it. And that's what was cool.
I wonder if that's where Kenpo is just like sword style martial arts, right? But is it Kendo when they fight with the wood swords?
I
wonder
if
it
don't know.
relates to that. I wonder if it relates to like the respect of the style and the respect of the form, but also understanding that like we shouldn't be killing each other. So let's.
Yeah, I think the whole deal of like drawing your blade means like you intend to kill.
It definitely is very Japanese, I think, from my understanding. I also very much enjoyed that when they were just laying down fisticuffs. That Kumatetsu had a very boxing style.
He was Muhammad Ali.
Fun. Yeah.
At that first fight, he did the feet thing.
Yeah,
he did the feet thing. He was Muhammad Ali.
He did the feet thing, more like Muhammad barely.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God. All right. So yeah, that fight was very cool. I think the whole hole in yourself thing was pretty on the nose, but like they did it well. It wasn't like obnoxious.
I mean, yeah, like obviously, like it wasn't like super fucking like difficult to grasp. It was very straightforward, but I liked how it looked. It reminded me of that anti-spiral from Gurren Lagann. So
I haven't thought about that in a long time.
It's what it made me think of.
I thought of the Heartless.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that too. I just like anything with just like billowing dark energy.
Yeah,
it's like what know, but then I just enjoy that. So then they bring it out of the spiritual world into, now we're in the full bore like regular human world, and then he has this fight with the kid, and I really liked that fight because it was so weird, like his whole thing with being able to like morph into that whale, and like how it was like a shadow like sliding across the earth, and then it could like come up and like push shit.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool. It was really cool. And then again, obviously, all big reference into Moby Dick because that was a big connection through the movie. But
I love it when anime has
literature
Western
references?
influences.
Oh, okay.
Like there's another whole, I'm forgetting what the movie is, but the John Denver song, I think it's Country Roads.
Country Roads? Yeah, what?
Is like it's a big part of I think it's some Ghibli movie. I think it's like From Up on Poppy Hill, or I don't know. Somebody's gonna tell me, I'm sure. But like I just love it when anime is influenced from Western culture, because I feel like a lot of stuff on the West Side is greatly influenced from anime and Eastern culture, and it's not often when you.
It's definitely a big back and forth.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that his other films also represent that pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Summer Wars are both like very much so an introduction into Japanese culture through like Western eyes. Which is, I mean, those movies, check out this director's movies, man. His filmography is just nutso.
Oh, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is amazing.
They're all hits.
They're all hits.
And I don't mean to be like, 100. If you guys feel like we're rushing through this, we're a little short on time, but we're also on like, we're riding this high from the interview. Let's be honest.
I'm feeling
our
good.
opinions on a film
great.
Are nothing compared to the interview we just did. So, yeah.
Are we set for our final ratings?
I'm set right now. I'm set right here, right now.
Yep, okay. We're doing it.
I got a young B+ for this one. And I know
Okay.
that that's not incredibly high. My only reasoning is like I did enjoy this movie, and I don't know if I just maybe I built myself up thinking it was going to be something different, and that's what's keeping me out of making it a bigger rating. Like I really enjoyed it. It didn't emotionally impact me that much personally. Um, like I liked what it was going for, but I kind of just I don't know. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world. I think it's still really good. I really enjoyed it, but ultimately on my list, I put it I put it right below, like right in my really good category, right below like Naruto and Premiere, because I really just I ultimately my list is based off of enjoyment, and while I think from a completely like unbiased spectrum, I think this would be a higher rated film. For my own personal enjoyment, that's where it sits. So
I had this at a B plus before for my first viewing. And I'm gonna move it up to an A minus. That's where I have Violet Evergarden and Batman Ninja, Howl's Moving Castle.
Mm.
Some big hitters up there.
yeah,
One Piece lies at the A minus spot.
Ooh.
Um, and yeah, I think that this movie has faults in that it's covering a huge amount of time in Ren's life. And you don't get to really see that like slow progression. It's more of kind of a dramatic change in his interests, I would say, is the biggest part. Like he goes from like he finds his family to 8 years later and he's comfortable with that life. And I think that that 10 minutes is what's really jarring to me is like, oh, now he's interested in girls. Oh, now he's interested in like all the learning that he missed out on before, and like catching up to that I think is the only detriment to the film because
But-
they don't really give you time for that.
but
They're just
Ethan,
pedal to
I
the metal.
thought you liked time skips.
I
Yeah.
love time skips, and I think that they can be done. They're also one of the most dangerous things to do in anime.
Very true. And I think in any kind of entertainment, time skips are
Yeah.
scary. You could
If you fuck
really
with time,
screw
you gotta
up.
have a good reason to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm at an A minus. I love the film. I'm excited to see what this director does next.
Yo, fair enough. I've been bouncing back and forth literally just between an A plus and an S. Just because it's I think I'm gonna put it in an S for me. Because it hits all the different sweet spots for me. Um, like one of the reasons I love Full Metal Alchemist so much is I think it's as a show it's like a exploration of philosophy disguised as an action show, and I think that this movie could also relate to that,
Mhm.
or fall into that category. I mean, and but less so much of philosophy and more of just like, well, yeah, no, philosophy, like ways of living life and how to go about it, and the consequences of your actions and side characters' actions, and I just think that this is one of those things where there's lots of layers to peel back, and
Right.
I am a sucker for that. And then when you throw in a training montage, a cool teacher, who is the teacher kind of idea, and all of these messages about what it is to have a family, and
Yeah.
what it is to be a father, what it is to be a son and a student, and and what it is to have true strength. And I am a sucker for that. And to speak on Ethan's point about the point of education and stuff, I am so thankful that they showed the book smarts being a pursuit of his, because I feel like that's another avenue for strength. And I think that that's what they were trying to highlight there. Like Ren was the prodigy student almost in a lot of ways, and he was he was going on the pilgrimage. He went and got all this different advices, and he learned how to fight, and he mimicked, but he's also studying and exercising his mind, and it's just a really good message. And I've already recommended this movie to a couple people, and I only just watched it yesterday, so that I think also is a good indicator that's an S for me, because I'm quick. It's quick in my head to be a recommendation.
Right. The last
yeah.
three movies now you have ranked at S.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, is it Robot Carnival and A Silent Voice and now Boy and the Beast?
Oh yeah. We be choosing good movies out here.
I mean, yeah, in my defense though, they're good movies.
We be choosing them good, but when we get to that
the only one that would be like the oddball out in that scenario is Robot Carnival, and I feel like I justified why that's an S for me.
No one disagreed. I'd still agree with you on that. Cool guys. Really fun episode. It was really interesting to learn about some of the processes of dub voice acting and how because ultimately it's just really vital to the way that anime exploded in the West into the modern day that we're in now, and it still is important to this day. Like some people just don't want to watch stuff with subs. Some people maybe just don't like it because they're not used to it, and maybe they'll like it later, or it's not the easiest form of entertainment to get into just for, compared to just like popping on Netflix and watching a whatever Western show that you can just click on and no big deal. So when you get these types of dubs, especially, when they, as the quality of them has only gotten better and better over the years too, it's just there to make things more expansive and easier to view. So it's really cool getting to hear about all that, as well as within the context of movies and this particular movie.
Yeah, and don't be an anti-dubber. Like, it's just more content. There's nothing to hate on there. There's so many people out there who just think it's like the lower form of anime, and it's really just to make it more accessible to more people, and that's not something to hate on.
No, and I mean, and that's the thing is, like, I totally get if you like subs more. I totally get it. I'm the same way. I usually listen to subs. It's just I personally prefer that, but it doesn't mean that because you like subs more that dubs are bad. Sure, there are bad dubs out there, but there's also probably bad original Japanese dubs. And on top of all that, there is some incredible English dubs that are just as good, if not arguably better than the original subs sometimes. Almost any of these big movies have amazing English dubs that are well worth watching in that form. You could go watch Cowboy Bebop. That's a great English dub.
That's a great one.
Full Metal Alchemist has great English dubs.
Full Metal Alchemist, DBZ.
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z, I'd almost say that the English dub's even more iconic than the Japanese dub.
I prefer the dub.
And you know what?
Dragon Ball.
I'm watching Hunter x Hunter right now, and
that's a good dub too. Yeah,
that dub is really good.
Is it Hunter x Hunter or is it Hunter x Hunter? How am I supposed to say it out loud? I think
the creator of the show, I think, has gone on record saying it's Hunter x Hunter. There's so many people. There's so many people that got exposed to it over here and stuff that were like, no. It's X.
Because it's I get the X is there as like a versus, like Hunter cross Hunter kind of thing, but like
it's so good, guys.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But you know what, Ethan? As much as I'd like to get into Hunter x Hunter, I'm still watching Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D. So with all that being said,
I hate everything about it.
You just gotta give
police that slow you down.
You gotta give speed duels a chance. Anyways,
I'm irritated.
You gotta give speed duels a chance. He's got the Yusei Fudo's got the Stardust Dragon.
Why'd you get him off on it, Ethan?
So if you want to keep up with us and keep hearing all about me ranting and raving about how great Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is, you can follow us on Spotify and listen to us. And, we got a good backlog going now. You should go back and listen to the other ones.
Sure.
We've got some collabs on there. We've got Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it.
That's your callback?
Your
callback?
I think that was a good series.
That was the first one. You got to start at the beginning. You got to see how it formed,
There's
man.
a lot of people loving on that Parasite.
You've got to go check out Gangsta and see how that one blew up in our faces. You got to see.
I don't think Gangsta's on there.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
it's
no.
It's going to be our first Patreon.
No.
Is it on YouTube?
No,
it's going to be our first
it's
Patreon
not.
backer.
It's not?
Bit.
Yeah, if we end up with a Patreon, we'll probably end up showing you guys that one. But anyway,
And our Demon Slayer episodes.
And the Demon Slayer ones too, if that actually is like listenable. Oofta. But yeah, check out that one. Check out Parasite. That's a pretty long one. You can get into that. That one's you could go pretty deep on that one. You could watch Saint Seiya. You could not watch Saint Seiya. You could not watch Saint Seiya, but you could listen to our podcast about Saint Seiya. That was pretty good. That was a good time. But yeah, all that being said, you got there on Spotify, and then you got Apple Podcast, because it's not just like Apple Music anymore. They had to separate it. Now it's Apple Podcast, and if you're on there, you can give us a rating. We would prefer 5. If yeah, we would prefer the 5 stars, the 5th star, and let us know about how great our podcast is, and I definitely won't let it get to my head. If you want to talk to us, we've got a Twitter. There's an Instagram too. There's even a Facebook. Devil Fruit Corp. Go find it. It's there.
And you can also reach out to our send us an email. If you got something you'd recommend, if you got something you want to say,
or if you
devilfruitcorp@gmail.com.
Or if you are an anime voice actor looking to come onto the show, please email us. We will take all of you.
We've already got top 3, baby, so
we've hit top 3.
Don't feel intimidated.
Yeah, but if you're top 4, we'll think about it.
Well, yeah.
We can negotiate.
Like I said, not letting it get to my head. So it was good time, guys.
Yeah, good talking with you, boys.
We'll see y'all later.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.